The pain hit Evan before consciousness did. Every nerve in his body screamed as he dragged himself back to awareness, his augmented healing systems working overtime to repair tissue that should have killed him 3 times over. 12 plasma blasts. He remembered every single one, the searing heat, the smell of his own flesh burning, the way his combat armor had melted into his skin. But the child was alive. That's what mattered. Evan's eyes cracked open to find himself staring at an ornate ceiling covered in bioluminescent patterns that shifted like living constellations. This wasn't the medical bay of his ship. This wasn't anywhere he recognized. You're awake. The voice was melodic, almost hypnotic, carrying harmonics that human vocal cords couldn't produce. Evan turned his head, slowly because everything still hurt, and froze. A woman sat in a chair beside his bed, but woman felt inadequate. She was draconic, her scaled skin shimmering with iridescent copper and gold. Elegant horns curved back from her temples, and her eyes were vertical slits of molten amber. She wore formal robes that marked her as someone important in Drakari society. Very important. If Evan's xenocultural training served him right. Where? His voice came out as a croak. My personal chambers, she said, rising with fluid grace. I am Hannah, first scale of the Outer Territories. You saved my daughter. The memories flooded back. The ambush on the trade station. The Krell raiders targeting anyone they could sell. The small Drakari child, no more than 5 standard years old, cornered in a maintenance corridor while plasma fire tore through the station. Evan had been there for a simple supply run. But when he saw those raiders raise their weapons at the terrified child, something in him, something fundamentally human, refused to let it happen. He'd thrown himself between the child and the raiders. His armor had absorbed the first few blasts. Then it failed. But he kept standing, kept his body between predator and prey until station security finally arrived. The child? Evan managed, unharmed, thanks to you. Hannah moved closer, her expression unreadable by human standards, but her voice carried weight. Do you understand what you did, human? Do you comprehend what it means in Drakari culture? Evan tried to shake his head, then thought better of it. I just couldn't let them hurt a kid? Something flickered in Hannah's eyes. Surprise, perhaps, or recognition. 12 plasma blasts. I've reviewed the security footage. Any of them could have killed you. After the 3rd, you were clinically dead for 47 seconds before your augmentations restarted your heart. You continued to shield Lyra through 9 more blasts. Lyra, Evan repeated. Pretty name. Hannah sat on the edge of the bed, her tail curling around her feet. In Drakari culture, there is a concept called flame brother. When someone willingly sacrifices themselves for a child not their own, they become bound to that family by honor deeper than blood. You are now Lyra's flame brother. And mine. Evan blinked. His xenocultural training definitely hadn't covered this. I don't understand. It means you are family now, my family. The highest families of the Drakari clans have already heard of your actions. A human, a species we barely know, took 12 killing blows for one of our children without hesitation, without calculation, without demanding anything in return. Hannah's voice grew softer. Do you know how rare that is? True altruism exists in every species, but to find it so, purely expressed, do not say just human, Hannah interrupted, her eyes flashing. I have studied your species since the incident. I have read your histories, your stories, your philosophies. This is not just anything. This is what makes humanity remarkable. Evan felt uncomfortable with the intensity of her gaze. Any parent would have done the same. I am not her parent, Hannah said quietly. I am her aunt. Her parents died in a colony raid 2 cycles ago. Lyra is my responsibility now, and you saved her when I could not. The weight of that admission hung in the air. The Drakari don't forget debts of honor, Hannah continued. You will want for nothing. Medical care, compensation, a position in... I don't want payment, Evan said, surprising himself with the firmness in his voice. I did what anyone should do. Protect kids. It's not complicated. Hannah stared at him for a long moment, then did something unexpected. She laughed, a sound like wind chimes mixed with a dragon's purr. Not complicated. Yes, perhaps that's the secret. Humans don't philosophize about protecting the young. You just do it. She reached out, her clawed hand hovering over his. May I? Evan nodded. Her hand settled over his, warm and surprisingly gentle. "You will stay here until you are healed," Hannah said, and it wasn't a request. "Lyra asks about her brave human friend every hour. She wants to meet you properly. And I—" She paused, something vulnerable crossing her scaled features. "I would like to understand your species better. To understand what drives someone to such sacrifice." "It's really not that special," Evan protested weakly. "To you, perhaps. To us, to me." Hannah's eyes met his, and Evan saw something there that transcended species. Gratitude, respect, and perhaps the beginning of something more. "You are the first human many Drakari will ever meet. You have shown us something we did not expect. That humanity's strength isn't in your weapons or your ships, but in your willingness to stand between danger and innocence, even when it costs you everything." Evan felt his throat tighten. "I just couldn't let them hurt her." "I know," Hannah said softly, her thumb tracing gentle circles on his hand. "And that, Evan of Earth, is exactly why you will always have a place here. In my home, in my clan, and—" She hesitated, then smiled, revealing elegant fangs. "Perhaps in my life." Outside the window, 3 moons rose over an alien city, and Evan realized his universe had just expanded in ways he never imagined, all because he couldn't let them hurt a kid. Some things, he thought, really weren't complicated at all. The end.